Welcome to another video. So in this video we're going to be replacing the air suspension pump. This is a BMW 750, but the 5s and pretty much any FO1 and FO2 and so on, it's going to have the same setup for your air pump. And how we've determined that it is actually the air pump and not a height sensor or something like that is because of the symptoms. So what the symptoms for this were, driving along, all of a sudden it just drops down in the rear and we have nothing. Stop, turn it off, let it sit for a minute, reset it, turn it back on, and the air pump will pump the bags up. So, this will repeatedly happen, and what you start noticing is it takes forever for it to pump back up. So these pumps will run so long, and then they actually have a timer and they'll time out and they'll turn off, so you don't get it pumped all the way up. So if you notice your car, how long it takes for it to pump up, when the pump was good, and you notice it now taking a really long time to pump up, and sometimes it doesn't even get all the way full, well, then it's more or less the pump is bad. Now there's also a check valve in here in the pump, built in the pump, and what this does is, so as it is a compressor, so it pushes the air out, and then the check valve catches that pressure so it doesn't come back into the compressor itself. And that can go bad or get gummed up or fail. And I have heard of people cleaning those out and had some success to it. But that is a common problem. So the compressor just runs, in other words, and it doesn't hold any pressure, build up any pressure. So, in other words, the problem is still in the air compressor itself. Now, BMW wants $1,400–$1,500 for this pump, so it's not a cheap little thing, and it's worth messing with. You can buy certain parts, the fill valve here, and you can buy certain parts of it separately and repairing it, if you want your original BMW pump. Now, I picked up this whole entire pump for $200 thereabout, give or take, on Amazon. And it is, I've held it up there, and it's an exact match to what I have. So what you can do is subscribe and text me back in about a year and ask me if the pump is still working, or message me back. But we're going to give it a try. I'm not going to throw my old one away, and I'm going to see about maybe repairing it, keeping it as a spare. But the cost difference there, $1,200, $1,300 is an exorbitant amount. So anyway, let's get to it. We're going to see about what we got to do to replace it. So if you need to get your car up a little bit, all of them are right in the back, the rear of the car, underneath, in the center. And the reason I say you need to get your car up a little bit, because once you take it loose, all the air is going to come out and the car is just going to drop down, so you need to support it somehow. Either put the whole thing on ramps or jack it up a little bit, give you some room underneath there. And the first thing you have to do is remove the back cover. So this is what the cover looks like. Okay, and it sits up in there like this. There's just two number 10 bolts. If you look up in there, these are the nuts, and you'll see them plain as day. And then there are these clips that go in the back. So you take the bolts out, you take the clips out, and then if you look at the side here, you can see where it has these clips, and it clips on inside there. And these get ignorant and to pull on, and sometimes they're really tight, and you got to really pull on it. And you can see this one's been broken, repaired before. But yeah, you take the nuts out, take those clips out, and pull the cover off, and you'll see the pump. And then we're going to move on from there. Okay, so to take this loose, if you look, there's one plug on this side, and it's got a little clip on the side we got to work out, and it's got a couple these bigger rubber hoses. This little one you don't have to worry about, just the bigger ones here. Got to pull those out and unclip them from the actual pump. Then on the other side there are 2 plugs and 2 lines. So we unplug the 2 plugs and we take the 2 lines off. You just take a wrench and take the 2 lines off. So we're going to go ahead and do that next, and then we'll move on and see what's after that. Okay, we got everything loose. Just got to remember which one was which. This blue bottom, and you got to make sure you take your lines loose up here so it doesn't catch on it. And then there's just 4 number 10 nuts. There's 2 on each side. We take those loose and it should drop right down. So we're going to go ahead and do that next and get it out of there, and then we'll move on. Okay, so I bolted it back up, plugged everything back in. So next thing we're going to do is test it to see how it works. So I probably should have mentioned up front, you know, you're better off to unhook the battery for this, just because, you know, you're messing with anything electrical. You should unhook the battery. Another point I'd like to bring up here too is I got tons of BMW videos on different models and stuff like that, so be sure to subscribe and take a look at the other videos, see if anything else can give you a hand. But just a second, we're going to get up there, get the key, get the battery hooked back up, and give it a test and see how it works. Okay, pump running, and it's pumping up much faster than it was. And you have to remember too, this is from dead empty, so normally it's not going to run like this. You know, you shouldn't have it going that low. If it's going that low, you have some other problems going on here, airbag leaking or something of that sort. We'll see if it pumps up to where it's supposed to and shuts off. Looking good. Okay, should be just about there, shouldn't it? There it is, it's off. So success. So thank you for watching. Now you know how to replace the air pump on your BMW. Save yourself a ton of money. I imagine you take it into BMW, it's over $2 grand to have that done when you can do it for $200 in a couple hours. So like I said, take a look at our other videos and see if anything else can help you. Have a pleasant day.